Hello, fellow Hunters of the Blue, and welcome to my channel, and also welcome to finally, the review of all of the lives of all of the painting competition pieces. The audio is going on? Yes, we have audio. Welcome to everyone that's been here, everyone that took part on the painting competition. Just know that if I sound tired, or if I feel like I'm tired, that's because it's true. I'm fucking tired. Just came back from a long trip. I'm really tired, so please have patience with me. Well, let me just check one thing. Make sure everything is okay. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to do the review of all of the 41 entries on the painting competition. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but it might be the case. So if I do, sorry. And we're going to do it in the order that the Photoshop decided to open the images. I'm not going to even bother to put them in the order that I received them. It's whatever Photoshop wanted to do. More things. Okay, yeah. I am doing this differently from other times, because usually when I do these reviews, I'm looking at the camera, because I'm doing the review on my main monitor, but now I have a proper pen display that is one of those nice graphic tablets where you can draw on, and it's a really nice screen. So I'm going to use that for the first time. So I'm going to be looking downwards, but just know that I'm here with you. Okay, so who do we have in the chat? We have Lone Samurai, Grisa Kalish, Painting Peter Alastis, Swimmer Stacy, Killing You Softly, Alastis, Son Chavis, Jack Flaps, Sean Krogulski. Sorry that he sadly can't stay for the review. Just Rex, Mark Valencoop, Cristalios, Lautaro Vera, Chromatism, Inigo Garcia. Yeah, must see your eyes. Yes, you will, but I'm again really tired. I look awful, but we are going to do this. So this is going to be. I think it's going to be long, but I'm not going to do the review like super in depth. This is not a Royal Retinue review. I'm just going to give each entry some tips that I think needed to be improved for it to go up one category, or in case of the golds, make it even better. That's what he said. Okay, so let's just move on to the main event. So the first one that it decided to show is this from Cherry White, which sadly had things to do. I think he had early work tomorrow, so she can't be here, but her partner is. So first, basically, very simple thing. This is we're going to start for the apparently for the ones that didn't got any prize, and so I'm going to go for what this needs to get a bronze, and essentially it's just very flat. It doesn't have any shading whatsoever. You can see it here that yes, we have some minimum highlights, but it's just essentially just flat with some some paint that is not what it should be and stuff like that. So it needs to be a little bit cleaner, and it's a lot more shading, especially on this big vehicle. And I want more. I want more shading. It has some highlights, but it doesn't have any shading. So I want shades, I want more definition, and I want a cleaner paint job. Essentially that. Yeah, Scarlett is asleep. Yeah. So sorry about that. And this is going really slowly. You see in my display, it's just because I have 41 images open, which is a fucking lot. So yeah, please have patience. I have a quite decent computer, but it's still a lot. Photoshop is a hungry beast. So yeah, I just want shading. I want to see more variation on the flat panels. I want more. It's just too flat. Essentially, that's the main thing. So that's it. I just want more variation. I want more shading. I want more highlights, and so it doesn't look that flat essentially. But and a little bit of a cleaner application of some colors, like in the rivets and stuff like that. Just that kind of thing. So yeah, but overall, not a bad job, and it could be very close to getting a bronze. So next year, I'm sure she will. I find this reassuring that I could actually show my stuff in general public. Yes, you can. I mean, the idea for this painting competition, I said this a lot of times, is that I want people to feel secure. I mean, I want a relaxed painting competition, so anyone can take part and not have any problems. And I'm not going to be harsh with any of the critiques. I just want to give constructive feedback, so the people entering can do better next year, essentially. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. And this is from Daniel Slobo. And I'm sure you can see the main issue here is that I thought this wasn't painted. Until I thought this was a work in progress. until I just zoom in and realize, no, this is actually 100% painted, but it's just two colors. It's just gray and this flesh tone. I just need more colors here. Two different colors is not enough. I want more colors. I want more variation. I want more. I would just want more colors. If this had been painted with more colors, this would have gotten a bronze, because we have some shading, we have some highlights, so it meets the minimum that I wanted to see for the bronze, which is some shading, some highlights, and that's basically it. That's all I requested for bronze, but it's just not enough colors. It's just as simple as that. I want some different variation. I want some different colors on the membranes. I want different colors on the these bony bits. I want the eyes painted different, the teeth painted differently. I want some different colors on the gun here, around here. I just need more. It just looks like a built model with some paint over it. So that's all that's all I'm asking for, is just a bit more colors, because otherwise, with more colors, we would have a bronze. Yeah, I thought it was a milliput conversion. Exactly. When I saw this picture, no offense to Daniel, I thought this was just some kind of conversion or something, because I saw it like the thumbnail of on the email, and I thought it was, oh, he didn't finish it. It was just like a work in progress. And then it's 2 minutes. Oh, this is actually painted. So yeah. I just want to see at least the minimum tournament standard, which is 3 different colors. It's just missing something here, and it's just that. But the paint job itself is not awful. It's not bad. It just needs more colors. It's just too gray. That's it, essentially. We have here Stradmolina, and this is another piece that didn't got anything. And the reason is pretty obvious when you look at the wings here. You just have some airbrush splatter. It's just... And the tragic thing here... the tragic thing here is that actually Strad sent me a picture before he did all of the airbrushing OSL, and it's actually good. it was sorry, it was an easy bronze, but all I could see here is just a barely painted model with some airbrushing done on the bottom, from the bottom, and all of this airbrush speckles that just messes up with everything. And it just looked so flat. But this is a shame, because if he had skipped the airbrush stage, this would have been a bronze for sure. Easy bronze. And it's tragic. So I think I might send him a bronze medal afterwards, because I feel bad for him. Also, this is a really, really bad picture. I think this was taken with a flash. You can see it because we can see like the very clear silhouette of the model, and this looks like a flash photography, and that just makes the models look even flatter. So yeah, it's too much OSL. It's a bad airbrush mix for the white. I think he did a white before he did everything, and I seen this without the airbrush, and it looks awesome. So I think I'm going to send him a bronze medal, because I think he deserves it. He just made a mistake on the final step, and also sent me a pretty bad picture. So I think I'm going to send him a bronze medal anyway, because I think he deserves it. Never too much, OSL. A question: how do you pick your metals on on that with the OSL? That's one of the problems of doing it with the airbrush. It's just indiscriminate. So it would cover everything. When in reality, you will if you wanted a more realistic look, you will have to paint the metals afterwards, and then do the OSL on the metals with the brush, because metals and non-metal surfaces reflect light differently. So yeah. So that's essentially it. It's just a bad airbrush stage. It just went too much, and that just basically also coupled with a pretty bad picture, with pretty bad photograph, it just meant that I just couldn't give him anything. It just doesn't look good, but it did before, so whatever. Sorry. Moving to the next one. This is Wesley Browning, and my main. Sorry. One second, please. What is my? 1 second. I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm here again. Sorry about that. I had to cough really loudly. We have with OSL, people are talking about OSL in the chat right now. With OSL, what I want to see is, as Killing Softly and Redcap said, less is more. Less is always more with OSL. Also, when you're doing OSL, you need to think about what different materials do to light. You can't have the same OSL over a metallic part and over a non-metallic part. It's just different to light. So you need to think about those things. That's why the airbrush approach, although very dramatic, very catchy to the eye, is not really realistic. And it's usually, to me, it just doesn't look good. But if it does to you, if it looks good to you, go nuts. Luis Manuel Mienda is saying, how do I join your Discord? You have to go to my Patreon. You have to go to you have the link to my Patreon there. It's just there. And that will grant you access to my Discord. That's essentially it. Patreon. It's locked behind a paywall. But I will be very happy to have you there. Great hold image. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of that. So let's move into Strat Molina and to Wesley Browning. Sorry, Wesley. And the main thing here is just, again, not clean enough. It's just a contrast paint job. I don't know if it is contrast or these are Army Painter speed paints, because we have some metallic contrast action here. So I'm guessing these are speed paints. And it's just flat. It's just flat, and it's not clean enough. We see some problems in places like here where the it's not applied well. Same here, the arm is not sticked well to the model. The eyes are not really painted, just white. You have some ugly staining here and there. With a little bit more care, maybe a small highlights, this would have been an easy bronze, but as it stands out, it's a little bit too messy and not precise enough to get into the bronze, but it's close. So congratulations to Wesley. I'm sure the next year you will do better. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to move into the bronzes now. The model lacks depth, no shades, and needs edge highlights to simple things. Yeah, exactly. That's my thought. That's why I didn't get the bronze. It just didn't reach the minimum. 10th, Muffin Man. What model would you love to grab and paint as an art piece without making part of an army? Probably a bust. There is one bust by Mindwork. It's just Mindwork? It's Mindwork Studio, which is like a swordsman with a sword like this, sort of like this. And I think like a male with the chest without any armor and some armor. I think it's really cool. I want to grab that bust. And also this one. Which I need to paint at some point, because this is the display edition based on the Brom artwork of Elric of Melniboné, which is my favorite book character ever. And you Garcia, the airbrush can be great for OSL, but then you need some brush. You always need a brush. And then we have this. We are starting with the bronzes in no particular order. Again, just the order that Photoshop decided to open my images. And what we see here is this has shading, it has some highlights, it has good definition, it's very clean. It has some great expression on the eyes. The dead flesh, it's actually pretty good. What I want to see is just more. It needs more contrast overall. I want, especially on the gold, I want more on the gold. I want more contrast on the gold. It's just too flat. The gold is just flat. I want to see more directed light. I want just what it's here. I want more. I want more contrast. I want more highlights, especially on the metallics. So basically what you did on the face, I want to see it over the whole model. And I would love to see some directed light. So you, instead of just doing like a general light, which it is okay, I would like to see some directed light. So just placing the source of light in one place and doing a dramatic shading, I would love to see that. But apart from that, this looks good enough to be a bronze, and it is a bronze. But for the next year, I want more contrast overall. This needs more highlights. It doesn't necessarily need more shading, but it does need more highlights, for sure. And I want to see that. I feel like Airbrush also is cheating, as in not something running on the airbrush. It's not cheating because it doesn't look as good as if you do it properly. So you're not getting anything apart from some Instagram likes. And that is okay if that's what you're looking for. There you go. Let's just move on to the next one. Here, basically more of the same. We are going to be hearing this on the bronzes a lot. I just want more. We have some nice highlights on the metallic trim, on the gold and stuff like that. The blue armor is a little bit flat, and especially I didn't like the sword. The sword was the part that I just didn't like. It's just, I know it was done with the airbrush. It does look like an airbrush with some white in here and there. I just think it needs a little bit more work. It's just yellow here, then just a flat gradient towards orange and red, and then the flames just have some white plastic in there, but no real sense of fire. It doesn't look like fire, and it needs to look like fire. So I would love to see, and I know this is very difficult on this model, but I would love to see some more volumetric highlights on the blue armor, and I would love to see the sword in general, this fire effect done better. That's essentially it. Depth, yes, actually, it's just lacking depth, and that is a common theme with the bronzes. We are going to see thoughts on the face. The face looks good. The face is one of the standouts of the model itself. I can't really see the eyes, but the face itself looks good to me. I can't see anything. Of course, can it be done better? Of course, this is still a bronze paint job, but the face is one of the standouts of the model. So you could have this face and some more highlights on the armor and the sword done better, and this would have been an easy silver. Easy silver. Yeah. Some nice tones on the face. Yeah, I do agree. The face is the standout of the model. And the reason why we chose not to give this a silver is because the sword, which is a really important feature, it just didn't look like fire. It's just the fire effect is not good enough, and the blue armor, it's a little bit too flat. Apart from that, really good job. I mean, this is a really complex model, and I do get why this is difficult to do, but you for sure have what it takes to get to a silver and even a gold with a little bit of practice. I can see the foundation of a gold medalist here, at least for my painting competition. Probably in other more tougher painting competitions that probably not be, but for my painting competition, which I plan to keep as relaxed as possible. I can see how Marcos would get a gold with a little bit of practice. Even the quality of the gold, it steps ahead of the blue. Yes, the gold is much better than the blue. The blue is just flat. It's too flat. The gold is good. The face is good. I want a better blue and I want a better sword. That's what I want in this model. But yeah. Now we have the next bronze. This is Nathan Bliss, and the same thing applies here. We have some sweet weathering on the claw here. This weathering is the weathering on this claw, especially on the white parts, is borderline gold, and then we just have a very flat model. It's just the same thing. A flat squeak here, flat flesh. Everything just looks too flat. The armor is too flat. It's not clean enough in other details like the some highlights here. The fur just looks too flat. The sword just looks. Oh, sorry. The sword just looks too flat. What I'm doing. The sword just looks too flat. I mean, it's just lacking depth. But I want to see this claw here, because although, and with orcs you don't have to make the weapons like just steel. You can do this white or other colors, like it's chipped, like you did here. That will work amazingly. This was close to a silver. If I had seen a better face, because the face is what draws the attention, and if the face is not good enough, then the rest of the paint job is just, you know, it's not. Yeah, you see, it's not bringing me to the model. But I do love this claw. This claw is sweet. Yeah, I kind of cheated talking about Gilliman. Yeah, so I want more depth. I want more highlights, especially on the face, and I want more contrast on the face. Although I quite like this pinkish tone around the mouth, that is quite sweet. But it's just too flat. Again, it's just not. And on these rusted metal parts, I want more contrast as well. It's just too gray. I want more shading or more rust or something, or just make them of other color that's been chipped away, like you did on the claw here. Oh, we have strategy. Thank you very much for reviewing. I have to improve, and I will do the oversell with error more carefully. Sorry for my English. Don't worry, mate. It's all fine. As said, I'm probably going to give you I'm probably going to send you a bronze medal. The eye works for me. You mean the squeak? Yeah, squeak is, the eye is okay. It's just yellow with the trigger marks. I would like some shading on the eye. I would love some shading on the squeak skin. Oh, the orc. Yeah, the eye on the orc is really good, but the face is too flat. It's just green. I need more contrast there. We just have one highlight. I hope you can see it here. I can see it. If this, you see, it's just one highlight over the contrast or a flat color with a wash. It's just one highlight. It's just not enough. I need more contrast. I need more contrast. It's just too flat. Oh, we have Tim. Hello, Tim. That's awesome. So again, I just want more. I want more contrast. And with all of the bronzes, this would be like a common thing. I just need more highlight. I need more shadows. Let's move on to the next one. So this is probably the outlier here, because this is a weird model to begin with, and it's painted very ambitiously. So I can't show you because this is two halves. One half has one OSL color and the other half has the other OSL colors. And sadly, because of this model's nature, it's so flat in its pose that you can't really show both at the same time. Signum power. Signum power. So I think this has like this. The main issue I had here is that the OSL doesn't really read as OSL. That's essentially it. I see this yellowy green color, and I don't immediately think, oh, this is this maze projecting light. It just doesn't look like it. It's just, I can't really tell you what it looks like, but it doesn't look like this maze is projecting light onto it. So we have that main issue. I would have loved to see this done a little bit better. It's just the OSL, because the paint job is really good. We have really nice contrast. We have this could have been a silver, but the OSL, the ambition of the painter, I can't read it exactly. You can't read this as OSL. It just doesn't look as OSL. That was the main issue why this didn't got a silver. It's just because I can't read this as what it's intended to be. So I can't really go, oh, you need more contrast. It's not as simple. You need to work on your OSL, and you need to work that better. You need to visualize it better and apply it in a way that makes more sense. Because right now, it's just, I know what I'm looking at. Yeah, exactly. It's a really confusing model. It's a confusing model to begin with, and then it's painted in a way that it's even more confusing. So it's just confusion. It's not bad. Technically speaking, it's well painted. It's just that the OSL, I just can't read it as OSL. That was my main thing, and it pains me to say this because I know the guy and he's super sweet, and I would love to have said something a little bit different, but that is what it is, and I need to be clear. So for the next time, he knows what to work on, and in this case, this is one of those cases of you were a little bit too ambitious. This could have worked, but even I would have struggled with this model and this paint job. It's really difficult. I like the colors. Show the other pictures. I can't really do that. I don't have them here. So sorry, Grisha. sorry. Grisha Kalisi is the painter. I'm really sorry. I can't show the other pictures. Let me just see. If you are willing to wait a minute, I will show them to you. Just one second. Just 1 second. Now, let me just see if I can show them to you all. Okay. I have them. Do I have them? Are they with me? Yes, they are. Okay. So let me just show all of you the other pictures. So this is the blue side, which the light is supposedly coming from this lamp here at the bottom. Let's see if we can. Yeah. So the lamp is coming from this lamp here at the bottom, which the main issue I have is I can't see light getting to the heads from this little lamp, at least not that much. It's really it was super ambitious, and yeah, it's one of those things that, again, even I would have struggled doing what you did here. Oh, Odie, what Rosemary and Co brush do you use? It's a 3, mostly a 3 and a 4. The 2 I use rarely. So yeah, and this is the back, which you can see both sides. So the back is the best part, because for some reason the back reads better than the front, because it's just flatter, so we can see both lights at the same time. The problem is, with the heads being so long, you can't really show the front of the model because it looks weird, so you can't see both sources of light. Oh, Chaotic Painting. What's up, Juan? Love your content. Thank you very much. More is coming soon. So this is the best view of the model for sure. for sure. This is decent. You can see the green reads better, the blue reads better, because we can see them both at the same time. This is a weird model, and you try to do something very ambitious, and it just didn't really came through. Why doesn't the OSL work exactly? Light further from sources. So it's really hard to explain, and I knew this model would cause some, not controversy, but some difficult explaining to do. Okay, let me put the green side. What is my... So we have light coming from this maze here, which means that I think it's just too much. I think you should just cut down on the metallic details and do it more concentrated. Maybe just do it. Let me just get a red. So there you go. So I will concentrate the highlights more here, just on the corners. Here on the robe, I think is too much. I would do some there and there, maybe a little bit there, but not everything being like this chartreuse color. Here, where we start to move further away from the maze, because you remember, light is emitting from this thing. I would probably keep the highlights to something like this, and once maybe here, maybe a little bit, but very, very small there, and the rest I would want to see painted with normal colors. Also, yeah, this is like a blue. I think this is like a natural color which mixes a bit too much with the green, but it could have done better. Also, you need to understand that once we have OSL, we need a dark separation. So we want a dark separation between the OSL and the cloak. This needs to be dark. This needs to be dark. We need a dark separation between the cloth and the OSL, because otherwise it doesn't read well. So this needs to be darker, you know, and I want to see less of the green. I want it very, very intense, smaller but more intense on the metallics, essentially that. And I don't think it would reach places like the beak here. So I think I would limit it. I would do it like here, here, and here, because they are metallics. I would do it a little bit, maybe around here, but very little, very minimum. And I would probably just avoid the face completely. Maybe a little bit here, but very little, very faint. Otherwise, I think it's too much. I hope that helps. And here again, you just painted the hand normally, and then just apply this chartreuse color over it. What you should have been done is highlight it, like shade it towards the source of light. Again, we want this dark, and then put the green with a dark separation between the normal light and the OSL light. Yeah, Killing You Softly said something very cool here. If you took green out of the face as if the shoulder blocks some of it, then you have a focal point to read what the model is exactly. That's a really good point. Oh, I feel like that's a crucial bit of info. Never seen that in a tutorial, dark separation. Yes, the thing is, if you see any good OSL painted model, you will see that from the normal source of light and the OSL, there is a dark separation. It's always a dark. There is always darkness between the two, because otherwise it won't read well. So you need that. You need that. If you don't have that, it doesn't read well. But I need to do a proper tutorial on OSL, like a good one with a brush. I need to do that. So thank you, Grisha. It was a really commendable effort. And I really mean that. It was painful, but it just didn't read as OSL. So I had to do... I couldn't give you silver, but it was very close. And I'm really, really sorry about that. Honestly, you need to trust me here. I'm really, really sorry about that. Let's just move through the next one. So this is CA Painting Bramble. And this is not the model that he intended to present for the painting competition. This was like you know, I couldn't finish this, so I'm going to at least show you something. So I really commendable effort, and it was a solid bronze, and it was one of the best bronzes as well. We have a really cool, very cohesive, I think really well thought out color palette. We have some decently good smoke effect with the green showing underneath. And when I quite liked how the base was done. It's just a little bit too monotone for me. If this would have had some of this green, at least more of the green, because we have a faint showing of the green here and here. If this would have been done better, this could have been, and we had some more highlights. This could have been a silver, but it's so close. And because this isn't really the miniature present for the competition, I'm not going to go super hard on the critique. I want this fire effect intensified, and I want a little bit more highlights overall. That's basically it. But good effort, and I really appreciate you at least presenting something, even if it's not the model that you started with for the competition. And that's why I gave you a bronze, because I really commend the effort. Thank you. We have another of the bronzes, Joe Offwood. So first of all, why this didn't get more? The first answer is the base is not finished. And I can't really give you a silver if the base is not finished. But the paint job was really good. This is a little bit of one of those one-trick ponies kind of miniatures, and I say that in the good way. It's just like the glowing runes that it's like the main attraction here, and they're really well done. But because we don't have the base finished, I just can't really give you anything more than a bronze. Also, apart from the glowing runes, which are all really good, the rest of the model is a little bit sloppy. So we see here this section of the purity seals where you have some paint, some green, dark sea blue from the armor, which is not clean painted. The gold and the metallic details are a little bit too, like not clean enough, not defined enough. Look at this, for example. The face is good. I like the face. We don't have the bolter drilled. We have also a separation line here from the two pieces of the I think that is just like a seam. I can't really see the axe, and I don't think he sent me a picture. I could have sent me a picture of the axe, and the axe is, again, this red section here kind of blended together. It's a little bit messy. And he was also doing this kind of chipping on the armor here, alongside with the glowy runes, for example here, there. I would have avoided the chipping in the same sections as the runes. I don't mind them separate, like here we have this nice solar pad, and we have the chipped like edge of the solar pad. That is good, but I wouldn't mix them together. And the base is not finished, so what can I say? Yeah, turn the chipping into oversell. Exactly. You just need. It's a really good effort, but the base is not finished. The metallics are a little bit sloppy and the paint job outside of the glowing runes is a little bit sloppy. So that's why it gets a bronze. But it's a really good effort. So thank you. You know what you have to do. So do it. 15 minutes to silver. But yeah, this has been a little bit more of a cleanup, a little bit more of work on the rest of the details that are not the OSL, and this would have been an easy silver. It was really close. And just finish the base, please. Finish the base. I can't give an unbased model a silver, so that is the rule number one. I just can't. We have this one. This is from David, and this is another of the cases of 30 minutes more work, and we can turn this into a silver. 2 or 3 hours more of work, and we can turn this into gold. It's as simple as that. It's just flat. The best thing is like the weathering on the beams. They have the beams, the steel beams, nice oxidation effect. This bronze statue, really cool oxidation effect. But we have 0 highlights on the metallic details. There is just no. This is just the shine from the metallics themselves. We have no highlights whatsoever. Also, the patina is just one color, and there's usually a little bit more depth. And the model itself, which should be the center of attention, and I know that in the case of the Umbral 6 miniature, it's not really. The main thing is like the whole scene. But the model itself is just really flat. We have metallic steel with just one shade applied, nothing on top. This blue here, which is just flat. We have this heat effect, which is really cool, but it's sitting on top of just flatness. And the black is just one highlight. So if we highlight this guy more, even if the statue, like the statue with the pillars and stuff, if you kept it like this and just highlighted the model itself more, this would have been the easiest silver in the world. Easiest silver. And if you just worked on highlighting everything and then doing the oxidation effect and add a little bit more depth into the colors of the patina, on top of more highlights on the guy, this would have been an easy gold. It's just so close. So close to being a gold. But it's just too flat. It's just completely flat. It has very little highlights. We have even sections that are not painted, like this armrest here. You see, it's just unpainted. So close. A little bit frustrating. But really, really cool model overall. It was so close to being a silver. But I just can't give you a silver because it's just too flat. So just work on that. And we move away from the bronzes and move into the silvers. And it was to me like one of the most standard silvers you can have. It's just really cool. It has some highlights. We have some shadows. We have good definition. It's really clean. We have a lot of different color variation. We have some glazing on the scars. Just Rex. That's me. Oh, I wish I would have planned the model to base size better. In the picture, you can see the base and the details. But yeah, the model is too large for the base. The base is really cool. So we have some glazing here. Also, the picture is not on. It's on focus on some bits, but not the face. The face is out of focus. So you need to also work on that. I would have preferred to see the face in focus, but you can see the eye is really cool. It's really well done. We have some glazing here and there. It's really cool. How we can take this from a silver to a gold? First of all, the metallics, too flat, completely flat. The sword is just, it doesn't, I'm not saying it is dry brush, but it looks like a basic color, a wash, and a dry brush. I want to see more. I want to see some shades. I want to see some, for example, I said that I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this. Okay, let me just grab a different brush. Okay. Okay, this is good. So I want the metallics to pop out. So I want some TMM on the sword, for example. You know what I mean by that. I want some, some nice volumetric shading here. Same, I would have loved to see it here on the bottom a little bit more. Like this, like this. You know what I mean? This sort of thing. You see how much of an impact that makes? Just adding a bright silver or shading downwards to just make everything look better. It's such an improvement. Same thing for the bronze trim. It's just super flat. Just take something like what's the name? I just forgot the name. Let me make the brush smaller. So imagine something like this. Put this here on the center here. Same for the trim. I want to see more variation. And here, just that. You see what I'm going for? It needs to have more. Also, the green armor is just basically just a express or a contrast color over the primer. I don't see anything else on the armor. The flesh is great. The armor needs more work. I want more variation on the green. I want some weathering maybe, because this is Nurgle, so you can do it. You know, I want all of those things. Also, don't pick up a Pinecast model. I need to take the plunge on MMM. You don't need to do NMM. You can do it with True Metallics. This can be done with True Metallics very effectively. You don't need to do it with NMM. But you need to work on your metallics more, and you need to work on highlighting more over the contrast layer. That's essentially what you want. But the model is really, really cool. And it's a fantastic example of what you can achieve with basically just contrast paints or express paints or whatever they are over primer, if you just layer them in the perfect way. This is a fantastic example, but it needs a little bit more. Yeah, so essentially I just want more. It was more variation, more highlights, you know, more. But good job. This is Justin, which is just Rex. Bring a true white to hide points of the silver. Yes, you can use white for the final highlights on the silver. So another fantastic silver. One of the best silvers, maybe. It's really difficult when you get to some point. This is an example of an OSL done really, really tastefully, because he didn't use an airbrush. It was all done by brush. The understanding of the light is really good. It just looks like this is glowing and projecting light onto the torso. It just looks what it should be. Also looks like this is glowing, and this watery thing is glowing. It just looks like that. It's a really, really cool model. I just feel the main issue I have with this is that some parts are just too flat. Again, the skin is too flat. I want more variation on the skin. This green armor, oops, this green armor is too flat. Let me grab my marker color and my marker brush. So this is just too flat. The metallics lack a little bit more depth, and the skin lacks a little bit more depth. But the OSL is really good. It's competition Warhammer only? No, it isn't. You can enter with whatever you want. In fact, we have already seen some non-Warhammer models. And it's just open to whatever, just open to my Patreons. And it's once a year. So we will probably announce it. It should be around June, July, where the announcement will go through, and it will be open until October so people can finish their models. So what about the dark separation here? That's a good question. He actually did that, but with a darker green. You can see here that, let me just show that to you. You can see here, we see a darker green around it, and then the lighter green on top. And also, he's applying it on the darker parts. He didn't highlight this section as high as the other parts. You see that it's just in shadow. It's naturally in shadow. And then he used a dark green to do the OSL. And that works. That just works. Same here. You can see it very well in the knuckles, how we have a darker green and the lighter green in the middle of that. Very subtle. It can be done better, but this reads very well as a daylight source. Also, copper. This copper needs more work. It's a little bit too dirty, and it doesn't have enough definition. So I'm lacking like a Risha shade, for example, around these details. I want more definition. It's just a little bit too flat and too messy. Same here. The copper is probably the worst part of the model itself. It's just flat, and it is flat parts where they shouldn't be. If the rest of the model wasn't as flat, this would have been an easy gold. An easy gold. Let's just move on to the next one. Okay, another case of this can't be a bronze because we see some really cool things here, but again, flat details like this shield, which is inexcusable. It's just too flat. It doesn't look like copper. It looks like probably leather. Looks like a leather shield instead of copper, but then we have this patina, which is also shiny. I don't understand why the patina is shiny. It shouldn't be. Patina is really, really matte. And we have a flat siren tail. Just I want more definition on the scales. I want to see, better. I would love to see. Oops. Okay. I would love to see some what's the name? Specular highlights on the tail, because the tail is supposed to be wet. So I would love to see some specular highlights here. I'm going to do this very poorly, so please. But I would love to see some specular highlights like this to convey the idea of a wet tail. You see how much that does? That is now that looks wet without having to use gloss varnish. It just looks how it should be. The skin is also a little bit too red, maybe because of the picture. Also, it has a lot of contrast in some places and not enough in others, or weirdly placed contrast in other bits. You can go much higher on the highlights on the skin. I'm just using pure white, but with a transparency brush attached. You can go so much higher on the highlights on the upper section, like the breast here and whatnot. You can go so much higher, but what I wanted to see is specular highlights on the tail to convey that wetness. I want a shield that, if you do NMM copper, looks like NMM copper, and a little bit more work on the skin. Yes, and where are we? Bronze medals review? No, we are on the silvers already. Yours hasn't come out yet, so don't worry too much. Can it look like a face in the rocks? I can't see it, but okay. It's cool stuff. Best of luck. All bye. Thank you, Kirin. Okay, man. Thanks for the kind words. And my avocado librarian needed to hear the critique and continue to push my follow through the base into 100%. Yes, it was a good effort. Again, all of the bronzes were a good effort. That's what I love the most. But yeah, this is what you see, how much of a difference that specular highlight makes. Look at that. Just that specular highlight. It's a massive improvement, and I want a softer skin in some places and and more contrast in others, but well placed contrast. The hair could also have a little bit more work. Let me just grab something like ice yellow. Probably like this. Yellow, yeah, like that. We can totally increase the contrast on the hair in some places, so we have a little bit more shine on the hair, but that will also depend on how much you want her hair to look orange or not. But again, more highlights, more work. It just was a really good effort, and I couldn't give it a bronze with any sort of conscience. But it's silver, but needs a lot of work. Dude, that's definitely a face. Okay, let's just move out and to the next one. Okay, this. There are things here that I really, really, really like. Let me change the brush. There are things here that I really, really like. I love the wings. And even though my co-judge didn't like the wings so much, I did. I thought the wings were really well done. And I also really like the color scheme as a whole. I like the texture that we can see in places like the tail here. Looks like surface, like subsurface scattering on the skin. Looks really, really cool. But in other places, I feel it's way too flat. We have the blue here, too flat. It's just dark blue with some edge highlights. I would want some of these lighter blues, you know, like a more of a softer gradient with those lighter blues underneath the striations. I would love more work on the red as well. Example here and here. More on this side, obviously, because it's just a little bit flatter. I would also love, that's just personal choice, a different color on the joints and on these veiny things than the same as the skin on top, like the carapace on top. But overall, what it needs to get a gold is more volumetric highlights. We have a lot of edge highlights, but we don't have any sort of volumetric highlights on any of the red, blues, especially the reds and the blues. I would love to see more volumetric highlights on those colors. Apart from that, I think it's a really cool paint job. The other side of the wings were also really, really cool. It's just too flat in some places. That's it. That's essentially it. It's just a little bit too flat in some places. But really cool job, I think. Just work on that. Just one more work on the blues. I want more work on the reds. I would love to see a different color for these joints, so we have more color variation and a chance to add like a pop color. They would be really cool with this kind of chartreuse lime green color, for example, or a darker green, but in that kind of yellowy spectrum. I would love to see that. But cool job overall, essentially. I think it's a cool paint job. Let's move on. We have a lot of things to review. Silver is the longest category by far. Another good example of a more than a bronze is just, but it's just a silver. What I would love to see is more shading on the armor. The armor is just too flat. It's just orange, which I know is a very challenging color, but we have some highlights, but the highlights are too small, and the shading is only on the recesses. I would love to see more volumes added to it. We have Hamish here. So we have the painter of this on the chat, and that's what I would love to see. I would love to see more shading and more highlights on the orange. I want a more variated orange. It just feels too flat. It just feels too flat. More things. Oh yeah, these kind of bluish silver details, they look really cool, but I also think they need more shading. There are also the black here, for example, looks too flat, especially considering this would be like the main angle at where you take the picture. This whole section looks so flat around the face here. It's way too flat. If you're going to do the OSLE light thing, it needs to be better. Let me just do that. I'm going to grab a dark color, as we talked about. I'm going to grab a dark brown. Okay, let me just grab this. Okay, let me just grab this. make it small. I'm going to darken all of this area. That's going to be shaded with, like, highlighted with the light. You see, like this. And then I'm going to take this. Yeah, this. No, I'm going to take the blue. I'm going to apply this dark blue around, and then I'm going to move on to this very light bluish color. Like that, more or less. And you should do something like this. Of course, this is not perfect. It's harder to do it with Photoshop than do it with a brush, actually. Was nerve-wracking trying to shade that orange. Yes, orange is really nerve-wracking. It's a really nerve-wracking color. But overall, that's what I want. It's just too flat. I need more. But yeah, good job. Let's move on. We have Frederick. Really cool paint job. I think it's detracted by the picture, which I don't think is really good. Taking pictures of mainly metallic models, really difficult to do. We have a really nicely painted sword. This is an example of what you can do with metallic paints if you know how to use them well. The thing I have with this is, let me change the brush again. The thing I have is the sword is super contrasty. We go from we go from really darks to really brights, which is what we should do. But the armor is flatter. I want these darker colors showing more. I want them here and probably here, and you know, make a sort of TMM kind of shading on the armor itself. For example, I would love to see them probably around here and around here, yeah, around there. You know, all of those things, so we have a gradient in all of the panels and not just the armor itself. These green metal bits, which are really cool, feel a little bit too flat. Oh, come on. There you go. These green bits feel a little bit too flat. I would love a little bit more of that dark green. Maybe take a dark green ink and shade them more. And then I would love to see them brought up to this very, very bright silver. But yeah, also would love to see more contrast on this fish head here. Again, it's just a bit too flat. It's just lacking something. It's just lacking contrast. Same could probably be said about the green cape. The yellow, I actually quite like it. Is that mustard yellow? The freehand is really good. It's a really cool paint job. I quite liked it. I think it's fantastic. But again, metallic details are usually the bane of most painters. It's just so difficult to get metallic details done well with metallic paints. That's why most pro painters move into NMM. It's just a matter of, it's easier to control what the camera can see and what the spectator will see if it's NMM than if it's done with metallic paints. But if you do it well with metallic paint, you can impress people like a lot. Yeah, the sword is really cool. This sword is the best part of the model, alongside the freehand, which I think is really clean and really cool. But yeah, that's what I would love to see. Oh, we have Auntie Giuseppe and his Dark Angel Sergeant, the Squad Marines. Main thing I would love to see fixed for a move onto a gold, the creamy colors. all of that. All of that. I love. Let me just start with the things I love. I love this. That is cool as fuck. I love that you corrected the mistakes that I told you in the armor. So the armor looks really, really cool. You can always work on being cleaner on your edge highlights, but the armor is cool. I actually like the face quite a lot. It can be a little bit less messy. It's a little bit messy in some details. I love the stubble effect. That's really cool. I love that you painted the eyes. Again, a little bit too crusty in this section, like a little bit too much build-up of paint, which I can understand. The OSL is good, but I need to see the cream colors fixed. If you see here, this is not clean. We have a super dark shading, and there is no separation between this highlight and this shade. It's just like a hard line. I want to see a gradient. And to do that, you can't really use shades or contrast. You need to do it by hand. That's the best way of doing it. So you start with a bone color, and then you shade it, and then you highlight it. That's what you need to learn to move into the gold. It's that kind of painting. But apart from that, this is a really cool paint job, and I really like it. Also, it's a Dark Angel, so that immediately gets more points than, let's say, a Space Wolf. That's how things are. Let's just move on to the next one. This is William Gilliland, and this is a really cool paint job. I think the photo is not doing him any favors. Also, what's not doing him any favors is that he painted a dwarf. You need to know your public. That's it. But I think it's a cool paint job. Love the face. Best part of the model. This is all brilliant. This is all fantastic. I love that. Dwarfgate. Yes. 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 Not even a little bit ashamed. I would love to see more work on the beard. Dwarves are essentially just beard and armor. That's all that they have. And both details need to be really well done. The beard here, a little bit too flat. But again, it's just that it's not necessarily flat. We have a lot of highlights. Rock and stone. There's something to say. So things that I would love to see. I would love to see some variation on the beard. Let me just do that. So I would love to see some more volumetric highlights on the beard, not just edge highlights, but more volumetric like this. And I would love to see some darker colors. And some, oh shit. I'm with the wrong brush. Sorry. Oops. Like this, you know. General volumes defined instead of just like edge highlights. I want more volumetric details. Also, one thing that I personally don't like, I think, is that the choice of the gloves color and the beard color are too similar. I think someone pointed out that in the chat, and I hate when they do that before I say it, but it's true. I think this gloves, although I love the combination of this blue and this orangey brown leather, I think there should be a different tone so the beard don't really are that close. Apart from that, fantastic, brilliant paint job. I would love to see more work on the beard. I would love to see more work on the leather. It's a little bit flat. Same, be it this brown leather or this dark brown leather or this orangey looking leather. I would have probably done these shoulder pads in metallic paint. So I would love to see this metallic. Oh my god. I am the worst. Metallic. And I would love to see this in the dark brown. Probably, yeah, like that. But overall, I think it's a cool paint job for the dwarf. So let's move on to the next one. Again, another good example. We have everything. We have highlights, we have shadows, we have good definition, we have good color choices. It's just too flat. It's just too flat. It's just not enough shading, especially shading, and in some bits we don't have enough highlights. I would love to see the face brought up to way higher point. Smaller even. There you go. I would love to see, you know, the face brought up to this kind of value. It's just not highlighted enough. Even if we follow this sort of a neutral kind of source of light, just those highlights on the face just make a massive difference. I will let you see that. Look. See? Massive difference. Oops. We also have some mold lines here. I can't give you a gold if you have mold lines in your model. You need to take care of that. I know with some models that's very difficult. Also the blue, super flat. You know when I say that I don't like painting blue? And all of my critiques, most of them are from, you know, the blue is really flat. The blue is really flat. The blue is really flat. I told you, the blue is really flat. I want more variation on the blue. It just needs a lot more. It just needs more highlights and shadows everywhere. Everywhere. But overall, better than a bronze, so it's a silver. We have this from Lone Samurai, which is here, and we have a pretty clean paint job. My main reason for giving this a silver and not a bronze is because I felt this is better than a bronze. I will be honest with you, this is probably one of the weakest silvers, but it's still better than the bronze. So it's really clean. We have highlights. I would love to see more contrast. I would love to see more volumetric highlights, but I also understand, and this is a big dreadnought, and doing volumetric highlights on a big dreadnought is really difficult. So I was comprehensive with that. I see a lot of either this freehand or decals, but really well applied. I would love to see some. This is probably the one that needs the most work to get to gold level. I would love for that. I will need volumetric highlights on the gray. I will need for this. Let me just for this. Oops. For these lights to be light, or either lights or gems. That's what I would need to go to. I'm not that scary. Let me just say that. I will love to see some shading on the white bits, like around here. I will even on this decal, around this part of the decal. Again, a smaller edge highlight or a brighter edge highlight on top of what it's here. So we have that. I would love to see, you know, a cleaner, smaller edge highlight like this. You know what I'm going for? Maybe not that bright, but you get the idea. And I would love to see some color variation on the panels. So So let me get a shader. This one. Make it smaller. By the way, I just learned how to make it smaller and larger with my keyboard. So I'm really excited. the brush size, that is. Not sadly my dick. That is never going to change. You know, I want a little bit more. So, life hacks. But yeah, I want especially the red lights to either read as lights or as gems. I want volumetric highlights overall, and I want more highlights as a whole. But this was a lot of effort, and it was better than the bronze. But just know that this was probably the weakest of the silvers, but it was still a silver. So you got that. Yeah, I went for more clean look on parades, just for reasons to go on parade, of course. I have a keyboard for that, though. Okay, let's just move on to the next one. So we have Eddie Mullins here. That was other of the ones that I was doubting between the silver and the bronze. And each time that I had that doubt, I went with a higher grade. The standout here is obviously the sword. The sword is really good. The OSL is really well done as well. Very tasteful. And there are some bits that I can't really read. Example here. Oh, damn it. Let me change the color again. Let me go with a magenta. I'm going to go fancy. So, for example, we have this red glow here coming from the lava, I guess. But it doesn't read as that. It just doesn't. I would completely eliminate it here. I would eliminate it here. Just don't need it there. And I will go stronger here. Much stronger on this part here. I would probably go darker in the shadows around these areas. And yeah, apart from that, it looks good. The sword, you can even go up to pure black. Change that. You can even go with some black specks. Oh, no, I want the other brush. Now that I realize it. There you go. I want this. You can even go with some black specks on the outer edge to even increase more this glowing sword, like this forged effect. Something like this. Like that. So I would work more contrast on the skin by way of shading it more and make it darker. So also that will also make the sword even more glowy and will make the oversell even more glowy as well, which is what you want. Should belly skin next to sword be lighter as affected? Not really. This is if you go with darker skin, then yes. If you leave it the skin like this as it is painted, I think this is good enough. I wouldn't go any more brighter than this. Personally. So yeah, good job, Eddie. The metallics look fine. I would love to see. Let me just do something. I want to do something with those metallics. So I would love to see have black. I would love to see more volumetric shading. So around the crown here, something like this. If you know what I mean. So we have more like a layered effect. So we see the layers of the metal more. So here. You know, playing with that 3D effect. And I would probably shade it more here. Also, one thing that you didn't really add the oversell to is the metallic details. But you need to. Because metallic paints, let me just zoom this in. Metallic paints do need it. Metallic details, because they will reflect the light more intensely than the skin around it. So you probably have to go up to yellow here on the metallic details that are facing the sword, sort of like this. You see, sort of like this, but darken it first so it's more intense. And you have to go brighter on the metallic than on the skin for the OSL, because the metallic things reflect light more. So essentially that. I had used metallics. We have tried NMM. Oh, this is yours. It's really cool. So don't go bad about it. It's a really cool paint job. But yes, that's what I want. I would probably go darker on the sword for, you know, this extra black details, and I would change the OSL on certain parts. And remember, metallic details reflect light more intensely. So if you have OSL here, you need to have OSL here, but even more intense, smaller and more intense. Same for the belt and all of those details that are facing downwards. But you know, good job overall. Okay, this, I already critiqued this in my Royal Retinue review, so I will go fast over this because I critiqued this and I did a deep dive into this with all of my corrections, and the painter didn't do them. So this is exactly the same critique. What we talked about, I want to see darker bits around the OSL. So I would be more dramatic with the highlights on the armor. So with the source of light for the armor, something like this probably. And I want this cape to show more, so I will probably highlight it more like this. Even brighter than that. Like this, for example, sort of like this. Yeah. Sort of like this. So I want to see more highlights on the cape. I want to see this with a more dramatic source of light. So I would love to see light coming from this part and being very bright, the armor here, and very dark towards this saber lightsabers here. So the OSL is more predominant here. So I want more OSL. Essentially that. But it's a really cool paint job. And again, if you want to see a deep dive into this particular miniature, just go and look for one of. You will have to watch a lot of the Royal Retinue reviews, but it's already done. So I'm not going to go further in because the person already knows. So I will move faster. Okay, we have Peter Fullergreen and a small picture. He actually sent me a bigger one, but I can't be asked to. I already had this downloaded and I'm really tired, so I'm just going to plow through. Really cool paint job. I like it a lot. The gold has a lot of definition. You see how well shaded it is? You can see all of the details on the gold. I love this burgundy kind of cape. I would love to see the thing that detracts me the most is that the skin is not necessarily flat in terms of contrast, but it's flat in terms of colors. It's just one color. So what I would love to see here, let me just go here, up. Let me grab a dark magenta, maybe a bit redder. There you go. Okay, I'm going to do another layer. I'm going to put it, I think it's this one. I need to make this way smaller. There you go. I would love to see some pink in some places. Like, for example, around the cheeks, like that, where it meets the knee, some bits of the hands. You know, a little bit more variation. I will also love to see on the lips, for example, like that. So we have more. I would probably highlight the gold a little. It's really well highlighted. It goes up to pure silver, so I really appreciate that. But I would love to see probably a bit more volumetric. So I would love to see highlights naturally done here, not just relying on the reflectiveness of the paint. I would love to see them there. There you go. You see there? You see the difference? Let me just show it to you. Like this. Or like this. You know, it just catches the eye more. It's just bringing you there. I would love to see more contrast on the ropes as well. You can go way, way higher with the contrast here. Oops. And you can, again, you can go much higher with the contrast. For example, there, what's there? I need smaller. Like that. But overall, fantastic miniature and really cool paint job. It just needs a little bit more, a little bit more color variation on the skin. It needs probably the highlights on the metallic details more focused toward towards the front or toward one or two sources of light. I would probably do some more. These reds look a little bit flat now that I see them. So things like this. This red seals look a little bit too flat. Same for the red cable, a little bit too flat. So those sorts of things. It was close to gold. It was close to gold. It was a really cool paint job. And sometimes if one gives me advice, it's more contrast. Yes, it's just that. Yet here I am waiting for him to tell me again. Are you ready? No, yours not. It's not yet. But we have another case of a paint job that is just too good to be a bronze, but it's just stuck on silver. Okay, when do we take Photoshop away from one? There's still a little bit more, but not many more. We are getting towards the end now. We have here a nice blight drone from the Nurgle thing. Main thing I would love to see, I want more highlights on the green. Plus highlights on the green and on the blue. Just basically that. I want that. I will also love to see a different eye. It just looks a little bit too too similar to the bones. I want it to be more intense. I would love to see these barrels drilled. I would love to see a little bit better basing. Basing is a little bit too, it's just a little bit too simple. But also the metallics can do a little bit more work. The metallics. It's more highlights, essentially, what I want to see. Just more highlights. Okay, let's move on. We have Tommy here. Another Dark Angel, so we're starting with a strong start. Nice sword. I will paint the nodules differently. Not just the same color as the blade. It just looks way too similar. The main thing here is the metallic details. Way too flat. Want more. Need to improve my basing because that's better than mine. It's just okay. It's just no cohesion. It's just things stuck into a base and painted differently. I want a more cohesive basing. This metallic details way too flat. Way too flat. I want more contrast on your metallic details. The armor, fantastic. The white, really cool. The sword, really good. But, oh, I would also like more contrast on the red wings, especially around the junction between layers. I want darker there. Again, basing could be better. A little, just more tufts around this area here just would have improved it. Otherwise, you just paint sand and it looked like painted sand. These guys, I would love a little bit more contrast on their rows, but they are secondary, so I can understand. But yeah, good job. Yes, more like this. This is good metallic work. This is a little bit weaker. I don't know if you did something differently into those places or you did the same, but this looks better than that. Let's move on to the next one. I just want to grab something to dinner. It's about 11 p.m. here, and I need to eat something. So we have X23 here from Elastis, which I know is in the chat, or I know if he's looking or not. I was really impressed by him doing this. I don't Samurai, your base one, I can't really remember now. Sorry. I didn't thought anything about it, so it was good enough, I guess. So, things that I would love to see about this mod. I was really, really impressed by this. And I mean that, because I've seen where he started, and I know he pushed himself so hard with this. So, and I think the final results are really good. Things I would love to see, more definition around details. You see here, it's not dark enough. I want darker line here. Same here, same here. Not enough definition. Same here, around the fingers. All of these things, I want more definition. It's just not dark enough. I want us a little bit more definition. More things. I would probably just go. The skin looks really good, but again, it's good in terms of contrast and it's well shaded and I like it, but I would love to see some more color variation on that. Grab a dark color. Let me put this into this mode and come on, need to calibrate this. There you go. And I would love to see some more pinky stones, for example, nose, cheeks. Oh no, what are you doing, man? There you go. Probably, I just want a little bit more color variation, especially on the face. Let me just turn the opacity of this layer a little bit so it can be a little bit more aggressive. So nose, all of it maybe needs a little bit pinker. So I want more color variation on the skin. I would love more definition along all of the details. Maybe you can push the green a little bit further. Just a little bit further. With a little bit more yellow in it. Oh no, this doesn't go there. There you go. And places like this. Like this. This. Like this. You can even hear on the thigh where the light is telling you to go, like that. But overall, good paint job. I like it. I like it. It's good. I just want more variation on the color of the skin and a little bit better defined details. It's just a little bit too messy around the parts where two different colors join. But you did a good job and you should be proud of this. Let's just move on. This is Peter. Okay, so Peter is here. He's painting Peter in the chat. And it was a cool paint job. And I've seen all of these stages of this. All of them. What would I've done differently? I think the gold needs a little bit more shading. I mean, it's good in some places and it's not good in others. So let me just grab a dark brown. And make my brush way smaller. I would probably go way darker. And like more dark than light in this case. Especially details like this. It's just too yellow. You need more. Concentrate the highlights towards the point where the light is going to be. Like this. You see? And increase it. Increase it here. I want then more shading around it, you know? More contrast. The stage should have kept sharing until it was perfect. I mean, there is a limit and you did a good job. This is a really difficult model because it's old, it's heavy, the detail definition is not that good. We have some flash around some details here. Really difficult to trim. The sword was a standout. I really liked it. I would have liked some more highlights on the bones. Maybe towards here, towards the front. Maybe a little bit like this. Maybe. But overall, I think it's a cool. It is a cool paint job. It can do with more contrast on the metallic details. What I would love to see. That is true. I would love to see some more definition between the metallic details and the flashy details, especially around details like this. I do want to see a little bit more. Some places it was hard to tell, and maybe that was the intention, but I would think this would benefit from a little bit more definition in some places, so it would read better. But overall, good job. Just more work on the NMM, which is really tricky. Okay, let's just move on. Mario, we are going to move into the gold, so we are about to finish now. Just some more entries, but not many more. Beautiful paint job. It reads like the light is coming from this staff. It was really cool. I really like this. What I would love to see is, for example, things like the beard. Things like the beard are worsely painted than the cloth or the sword or the hat. The beard looks a little bit too sloppy. I would love to see the beard painted better. The skin on the hand looks a little bit too flat. I would love a little bit more definition there. But overall, really, it's just a matter of what you did. You did right. I just wanted seeing it being more refined. Just go on with your magnification and just clean all of the details until it's smoother. You need some smoothness on the beard, and you know, what you did is good. I wanted more refined, essentially. Let's see now if there are any ultramarines. Yes, they are, actually. There is one, actually. So yeah, good job. We have Mark, which I saw in the chat at the beginning of the video. I don't know if he's still here. Things I do like about this is hard work, like really hard work. And I know how much hard this is. A big model, and it's really hard work. It's an awesome sculpt. It's really well painted. I love the eyes. I love the eyes on the fingers. That's really cool. I would love a little bit more smoothness on the NMM. I would love some more smoothness on these sections. A little bit more. I would love a secondary reflection here on this bit here, and one here, and one here, and probably one there as well. I would love some more the cloth rendering here is not the best. There should be some highlights on the inside of the folds, like there, and probably there. So cloth rendering needs to be more needs more work. The leather and this thing on the back, that is awesome. The skin I thought was really cool. I would love to see some more color variation, especially around the knees, a little bit more redder on the knees. I would love to see a little bit more color variation on his face, but maybe not too much because he's an old dude, so you know, they tend to look a little bit more grayish. Maybe you can introduce some purple tones around the face and around the skin in general, more like a glazed in, more like in the shadows. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I would love to see the green of the hand a little bit better. Again, we have some big texture here. I would love the texture to be smaller and more subtle, and I would love some more color variation underneath that texture. But cool, really, really cool job. I love this. Let's move on to this one. This one is easy. Easy. The face needs to be done better. You do all of this awesome job. I was in doubt of giving this a silver just because the face is just not up to the level of the gold. The armor is really cool. The leather is really cool. These blue metallic details, it could be done better, but I do understand. The rest is awesome. But the do it better. We need more definition around the eye. We need a darker outline. It's just flat. What is this? What is this? Is that a scar? If that's a scar, it needs to have some red around it. It's so flat. I want more highlights. Let me just do something with this. It's what frustrates me is just that it's so close to being like super cool model. It's one more highlights towards front here, for example, just like that. It's more of an intentional highlight. Maybe not this color. This is too yellow, but you get the idea. And I want more. You know, what is this dark line? I don't understand it. The eye is just white against. It doesn't have any outlines, no definition. You know, all of those things. Just do the face better. But cool, really cool paint job overall. What we have here, this is Paul. Paul is a very known name around the Royal Retinue reviews. He's been here for a long time, and he always takes my advice and uses it, which is something that I approve. Awesome sword, really cool. I like the NMM gold, which is an improvement of what he used to do. Things like this bone here, a little bit too flat, and I can see it. I would love a little bit more contrast on the black, just to make it look like shiny leather. A little bit, you know, those lines, but more contrast, so it looks shinier. I like the red armor. You could have done with stronger edge highlight in some places. For example, something like this or like this. You know, you could make that small edge highlight a little bit more present, and that would improve the look of the armor quite dramatically. This would probably grant us that bright edge highlight. Same here, same here. So a little bit more of. Don't be shy with that stage. You know, don't be shy with that stage. You go from the darker edge highlight, then a really small brighter edge highlight, and then the dot. And I can see the dot, but I can barely see this other stage. For example, you should have it here. Same there, you know. I want to see that a little bit more. I would also love to see a little bit of this on the center of the eyes, probably, so to make it stand out a little bit more. And the skin is a little bit too much contrasty in some places. So, for example, here, we have this dark recess shade, and same here, which looks a bit too deep. I want more variation on that. Let me grab this. So I would love to see a reduction of this to make it softer. I want that depth of shadow, but just not that aggressive, if that makes any sense. Same here. Probably towards here. I want it more subtle, more subtle, more subtle. You know? That. And I want more. Don't be shy with the second stage of the edge highlighting. I think you're a little bit too shy with it. A little bit. But good job. I do like it, Paul. That was a good gold. We have an ultramarine here, and it's a fantastic paint job. Things I like here. Good OSL, good plasma effect. Very El Miniaturista, everyone knows him, but very El Miniaturista. I love everything. The edge highlights are impeccable, really good quality. The metallic details could do with a little bit more work. The steel and this gold bronze thingies. But what I would love to see the most is a little bit more volumetric variation on the armor. I would love to see some shading around here, maybe some highlights around the front, so we have that nice volumetric highlights. Same here, we do some highlights there, for example. Maybe a little bit here. You know what I mean. I want more volumetric work on top of the really cool edge highlighting that you've done. That's essentially it. It's really cool. Let's move on. We have, this is what you get when you don't go flat. This is the opposite of flat. This has ton of volumes, ton of character. Really, I would probably love a little bit more contrast on the white details, just a tiny bit more. Let me grab a different brush. A little tiny bit more contrast in places like this. It just looks a little bit too flat. I would love a little bit more volumetric work on here. But I love everything about this. The chipping is good. You could increase the highlights on the green a tiny bit more. So you did like this. I would probably increase them to be like this. A little bit bigger. You should put them here as well. Make this a little bit bigger. Same here. You could work this a little bit bigger. So we have, just a little bit more highlight, but it's really cool. Things I would love to see is if you could include some OSL onto this. So if you add OSL, that will make this like absolutely mind-blowing. There is ample opportunities to include OSL. And it's like here, you have opportunities, a lot of opportunities, but this is a cool job. That's all I can say. Goals are going to be fast because they are really well painted, so I'm just going to go like, do this and this. It's easy. Okay, look at this. I don't know what to tell you. This is absolutely incredible. This is really good. This would not only get gold here, but this will get gold in a lot of painting competitions. This is fantastic. That's for the feedback. Got a bit nervous around the very top of the highlights, but need to push it. Okay, that's happy to help, man. Happy to help. So, what I would love to see here, I don't know. Maybe I would love to see a little bit more color variation on this green. Just a tad more color variation there. Maybe some browns, you know, maybe some darker browns on the shadows here, just a tad more here, you know, maybe to make it a little bit dirtier and something, just a touch, just a touch, a small touch of darker browns. I would love to see a little thing that I think could be improved on the NMM is that we need a secondary reflection here. You see this? Like this. I would probably just make sure that this edge is better defined. But yeah, this is freaking cool. I don't know what to tell you. This is awesome. Maybe a little bit more volumetric work on the staff. I know that you went for the heavy metal look, but I would love to see some more playing with the facets and get a more volumetric work there. I would love to see some shading towards the bottom here. So some, oh damn it, come on, some shading towards the bottom and one more shade over the tartan. So here towards here, I want, you can glaze this with a darker color. It's really difficult to highlight, but you can shade down, and that would be a cool thing to do. But overall, damn, this is fucking awesome. Let's move on. Golden Demon entry actually sent to Quantum competition. This is a Golden Demon level, yeah. This is Golden Demon level. The main problem with Golden Demon is the competition is crazy good, but this is Golden Demon level, yeah. We have this Stavros here. As I said in the original award ceremony, this looks really cool. I think the photograph is not doing him any favors. I would love to see more contrast on the gold trim. I would love to see maybe a little bit of volumetric work on the black, if you know, to take it to the next level. But the OSL, this looks like natural light. That's how good it is. You can feel it radiating, and this you can almost miss this bit of OSL there because it's so natural. Really cool job. I think your light for your pictures is too stark, and that is not giving, it's not making you any favors. So yeah, take a better picture and maybe work and try to paint the black volumetrically. That would be cool. Let's move on. Joseph Noonan, really cool backdrop. I thought it was awesome. I love how the backdrop gets integrated with the front. Clever design. What I would love to see is, you know, cleaner paint job. This needs to be cleaner. Has enough contrast. Yeah, very the bands. It has enough contrast. It just needs to be cleaner. But that being said, it just fits with the background very well. So that may be your style, but I feel like this could be a bit cleaner. I also know that it's probably not the best detail in the world on this miniature, so that doesn't help. Yeah, cleaner, I was worried. Not bad for 7 months. If you've done this, been painting for 7 months, you should be proud of that. That is really cool. But yeah, you need to be cleaner. You need to work with your magnification and just try to be cleaner and neater generally. speaking. But apart from that, you have a very good future ahead of you. Congratulations. Here we have Kelly Richer with this really cool bust. Widely different style from what I paint. So it was hard to judge. But generally speaking, I would love to see more contrast. I would love to see a blend between the two hair colors better. I want this to be more blended. I would love to see, in general, more highlights, especially, you know, more volumetric highlights. I want this to be more brighter here and here. For example, this part is better done. Freehand, fucking awesome. Leather, really good job. NMM, probably not my style of NMM. I probably think this needs at least a secondary reflection around here to make it, you know, a bit more metallic. That's my thought. I want more contrast on the white details. Just especially this fur kind of thing is a little bit too blurry. The skin is just a choice, but I do want more highlights. I would love to see more highlights on the skin. You know, you can increase the highlights. Oh, sorry. Especially around the eyes and the nose. So we have a better definition. My main problem is we are losing... Oh, come on. We are losing the definition around all of these details. It's just too blurry. I want a little bit more shading, a little bit more highlights to bring all of the details together. But overall, really good job. Yeah, the freehand is clear as fuck. We have another... So you see that I'm not really that much against dwarfs. There's a dwarf in the gold category. I really struggle with the skin. Oh, you're here. It's good to see. Yeah, it needs more contrast, especially the skin. But it's really smooth, so that is a compliment. And it's a style also. It feels very stylistic, which is not bad. It's just not my style. What we have? Really good metallic work, especially on this band here, and I really like it. Nice color variation on the skin. You see some pinks there. The freehand on the tattoos could be neater. It's a little bit messy. You see it here, it's not as clean as it should be. I would love to see more work on the gold details. A little bit. They're not necessarily flat, just not... They could be a little bit better. I would love you to integrate OSL coming from the axe onto this side of the body. And that's essentially it. That's essentially it. Really cool job. So Paul Mooney, well done. It's little paint stuff, I think, in Instagram. Okay, we have this painted by Romain Barraud. If I butchered your name, sorry. Fucking awesome plasma effect. Really cool airbrush work. It's not that really cool heat effect. It's not that easy to make the airbrush look good on large vehicles, and he's done a fantastic job. Really clean edge highlights, which I appreciate on a large vehicle. Takes a skill. I would have liked a little bit better work on the fire. It reads as fire just, but I think it needs a little bit more. What I like to see the most is some work on the decals, because they look like decals. You need to shade them. I would love to see a darker, probably a neutral gray. Oh, sorry. There you go. There you go. There you go. Smaller. I would love you to shade this towards the bottom, just like this. You see? Otherwise, it just looks flat because you have a flat color against the gradient, and it doesn't read well. You need to shade the decals. I think you should have enough control with your airbrush to do it with the airbrush. I can on my Imperial Guard tanks, and I'm not good with the airbrush. Just take a shade, just Nuln Oil thin down or whatever color you want, and just spray towards the bottom part of the decal a little bit, and you have enough control, just very thin down, you should be able to do it. If not, just glaze it with your brush. You also should be able to do it with the brush because you paint really well. So I want all of these decals to have definition. They are too flat, way too flat. The rest, fucking awesome. Good job. It's clearly airbrushed, and so probably won't win you. Like if you go to Golden Demon, this is not going to win you anything because it's clearly airbrush, and it can be airbrushed better. For example, in this joint, you should use like a piece of a card here, so you can spray up to the very edge and don't have this wavy edge here because you were doubting with your airbrush. You were just, you know, or even either that or fixing it, but you know, whatever. But apart from that, really cool job. You go to the last one. This is Angelos, Alexo. And things I do like the whole composition. I think it's beautiful. I like the color choices. Things that to fix. I would love to see some fixing on the face. The face is not up to the, especially the hair. The hair is not up to the standard. I think her eyes are not as big in the model. I think you painted that over parts. I think the eyes should be something like this. Like at most this big. I think you painted over some of the face, something like this. Probably I went too much on that. Like this, and then we can fix it with some skin color there. Again, the face, I knew the head could have been done better. Yeah, the face again probably lacking some highlights. We can go much higher. I'm going to use white, and you can also add some more shading. We also lack any color variation on the skin. It's just skin. We need some reds. You can add a teeny touch of blue, very teeny touch of blue on the lower side, very little because it's a woman. I want more definition. I want more definition here between the hair and the skin. A little bit too messy. Look here again. This, I know that the eyebrow is there, but I want a darker outline. Same here. I want more definition. The hair looks way too flat. I want more highlights on this section here, on that band of light there, and probably here as well, so we have more contrast. You can darken this down too as well. Oh, what was my standout miniature? Probably that it's hard to tell, but probably between the plain and the ultramarine, so two blue miniatures. I do want, you have this nice NMM, and the mace is just gray. I want a highlight place there, and I want it as bright as this one's, because that's what the highlight should be. Apart from that, you can work on your smoothness on the transitions, but we can all. And yeah, I think this looks really, really cool. It can be cleaner in some places. Here, you can add some, and here these transitions are a bit too harsh. You can work on that. But apart from that, really cool paint job, Angelos. It was awesome. So, this is it. I'm going to have a rest now. I'm really tired. So, have a good time. This will be here for everyone to see for all eternity. So, don't have any. Don't hesitate. Just watch it again and again, how many times you want. The more times you watch it, the more money I'm winning. So, good for you. I'm going to have something to eat because I haven't eaten. I'm hungry and I'm going to rest because I'm really tired. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for taking part in the painting competition. If you want to join my Patreon, you probably have the link in the description, I think. Or if not, just look for Juan Hidalgo Patreon. You will find it. And there will be another painting competition in 2024, so stay tuned for that. If I'm having fun with this, I might do this as a biannual thing. So I'm thinking about it because it's so much fun. So if you are in the Discord and you are a actual patron, you want to have 2 painting competitions a year, let me know. We could probably do this as a biannual thing. I think it could be cool. But have a good night, or good morning, or good afternoon. And I'm going to rest now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.